Okay, so one of the things I've been wanting to test are these smaller boost caps, and these are 350 farad 2.5 volt boost caps. You can get these at DigiKey right now for $11 a capacitor. I've seen them on eBay for $8 a capacitor, so these are easy to come by right now. I'm going to wire this in here and see if this little boost pack can start the car up, because it's so small. And anyway, we will wire it up and do some testing and see if that works. Alright, so I connected up the small boost pack to test, and I've just connected it directly to the battery terminals here. And I've got the larger boost cap that I know works really well with cars underneath it. But I'm going to test this little guy. These cells are the same size as a D-cell battery. So if this starts up my car, that's going to be really impressive. So let me get the keys here, and we will just see if we can even get the car to turn over with that little pack. Alright, so it's reading at 14.2 volts. Let's try this. Listen to that, folks. No way. Charged right back up to 14 volts, and it started this car with no problem. Oh, that's funny. So, that is something. I'm surprised how easily that started. Let me try that again. And that is impressive to me. You know, I can't say that I could recommend using this at this point, but I'm going to start testing that. You know, I'm so impressed with this little boost pack's ability to start the car without any hesitation that I'm going to go ahead and take this larger one out and do some testing on this one. And I am just really intrigued. You know, this little guy just starts up my car without any hesitation at all. And what I may find it'll be necessary, this would be to put a lithium iron phosphate battery in the back of this. That might really really make a hybrid boost pack. But anyway, let me start this car up one more time. I'm going to hold the camera outside the car so you can hear the sound of the engine when this thing starts up. There's just no hesitation. Interesting. So, I've just got to show the progression that's going on here, folks. So I had, as you saw in the first video, if you don't know what this boost pack's about, go back and watch my first video on the boost pack. Search for that, watch that, you'll get an idea how this came about. But here's the progression. Here's my traditional car battery, and we're looking at 30 pounds. So I was all stoked when I went to this and brought that down to, I don't know, 7, 8 pounds. And I've been using this over the winter. I went ahead and rebuilt it. Been using this, great success. And look at this, folks. I've gone down to this. It doesn't even bump the scale. This little thing actually starts my car right up. No hesitation. Turns it right over. So I don't know what that's even coming in at. I don't know, half a pound or something. But this, I'm excited about this. Talk about some weight savings. Talk about a progression in my experimentation in this technology. You know, you could mount this up with a solar panel. So one other thing to point out here is on this one, these are 2,600 farad caps. They're connected in series. So we have 2,600 farad on this pack. This pack we have 350 farad. So this is a much smaller pack. It's not like you're going to be leaving the radio on for half an hour or leaving this pack, you know, not running your car for 2 or 3 days, most likely, with this little guy. Because if you turn your car off for 2 or 3 days, these capacitors may leak down in voltage and not be able to start the car. But hey, I'm going to start testing that. The only way to find this stuff out, really, in my experience, is just to hook it up and test it. So that's what we're going to be doing here, folks. We're going to hook this up right now. Okay, so in this big space here, where I used to have the big traditional battery and then the first boost pack that I built, I've now got the mini boost pack. And I'm going to be testing this out here, and I'll get back with you on all the results. But it sure looks promising. I've wired it up in here, and I'm going to hand the camera over to my son. I'm going to start the car, and you guys can hear right in the engine bay the sound of the car starting. You'll see that there's just no hesitation. This little boost pack just starts this car right up. So. it, folks. This little pack is going to be in here, and I'm going to be testing it on my daily commuter car. And we'll see how this will work. So far, I've just gone from amazement that it could even start my car to now amazement that it may be a functional battery replacement. And you know, worst case scenario, I make it a hybrid. I put a small battery back here in the back, and I'll test this for a while just as is, but if need be, I'll go to that. So anyway, guys, that's where we're at in the BoostPack. Can't wait to pull into a car service place and have the mechanics take a look at this. That will be real interesting. Alright, so there we go. That little guy's ready for testing. Let me do a quick startup here one more time. So this is BoostPack 2.0. It's made out of cutting board material instead of wood. Had I known that first one worked so well, I would have made it out of something more permanent, but I considered that first version just a test unit to test. And after it worked so well, I built up this one for a more permanent solution. So one thing I added is a little cigarette lighter voltmeter, and that's really helpful because I can check the voltage here. It's at 13.4. So after letting it sit over the weekend, we'll come back, we'll take a check and see what the voltage is at. That ought to be a pretty good test. So, day one of testing the car sitting, not running. Last night it was at 13.6, and we're going to test the voltage now and just see what we're at. So, let's just take a look here. So yeah, it's out all night, and we're at 13. Okay, so Sunday morning. So I parked the car Friday evening. It's now Sunday morning. Time to do a quick battery voltage test. So let's just see what we're at here. So we are at 11.7 volts. So still plenty of voltage to start this car right up. I'm going to leave it here for another day, and Monday morning when I get ready to start my commute, I will test the voltage again. Okay, so it's Monday morning, and we'll do a final test here. So the car sat over Friday, or Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Let's just see what the voltage is here. So the voltage is 10.4 volts. After sitting over the weekend, I'm going to try to start. Okay, car starts right up, and no issue whatsoever. So if you let the car sit for a weekend, at least in my case, no problem. Okay, so here's the results from all that chicken squawking and crowing that you guys hear. These are fresh in, and inside here we've got a bunch that are cleaned up and ready. So just thought I would show folks who either complain or wonder about all the chicken sounds. What's up with that? We've got 24 chickens, and they're free. They just go walking around my property all day long, getting little bugs and scratching in the soil and squawking and barking and roosters crowing and all the videos that I make. But anyway, that's what they're up to, folks. Alright, so at 6:30, what I've done is I've turned the radio on, because a lot of people have asked, oh, if you leave your radio on, how quickly is this capacitor BoostPack that you've made, how quickly is that going to discharge? So a lot of people wondering, you know, if this is going to discharge right away if you're running the radio. So I'll turn it up to normal volume, and I'll leave this running, and I'll come back later and check it. So 6:30 now, we'll see what we can get out of this. Okay, so it's been just over half an hour. We're down to 10 volts. So yeah, run the radio for half an hour, get down to 10 volts. Let's try starting it. So yeah, it starts right up. So yeah, you could run the radio for about half an hour.